I want to talk about the three ways, three ways how to receive gifts in this world, and essentially three ways how we relate to the things that we have in this world, the gifts that we have in this world. So whether it's been Adam l'chaver, between man and man, gifts that we receive from somebody, for example, a gift that we receive from a spouse, or there are gifts that we receive in Adam l'makim, between man and God, between man and us and Hashem, gifts that we see from life, and then the things that we receive within our own life, our relationships to ourselves. So ben Adam l'Atzma, between man and man, between ourselves within ourselves, between us and our interpersonal relationships, and our relationship with the Creator. So there's three ways how we receive gifts. Three ways how we relate to the things that we receive in life. So this was inspired by a Maimer Hasidic discourse in Torah on Oz Yasher, this week's Torah reading of Bashalach, Kedushas Lev Yom Chanukah, and the Maimer generally on Basi Lagani, the idea of coming to the garden. And Hashem says that the world is my garden, my place, my pleasure place, the place of my pleasure. So there are two statements, or two seemingly opposing statements that we find in Bryce at the end of the tractate of Kiddushin, end of Kiddushin. One says, Ani nivresi l'shamish eskaini, I am created to serve my master, to serve my Creator. And one says, Ani lo nivresi el l'shamish eskaini, I am not created only to serve. So to say it in much simpler language, one phrase says, Ani nivresi, the premise of starting is that I exist. There's an Ani, there's an I, a strong sense of I. Ani lo nivresi is there's a strong sense of I don't, the being or not being. So one is a statement of being, that I exist, and the recognition of my existence, and the one is more a statement of my non-being, or my non-self, my non-I. These are two different gersayos, two different versions. And let's try to understand them not as contradictory, but maybe even complementary, to say that there's actually three types of statements that a person can have in this world, and we'll understand what they are. One is, I start off with a certain premise of I. One is, I start off with a premise of I not, that I don't exist, Ani loy. And one is a combination between the Ani and I, and between existence and non-existence, of being and non-being, to be and not to be simultaneously, the Ani and the I and the Kesser. So let's understand this. And a way to understand this is through a metaphor, a mashal, a very simple metaphor, and I think it's a very important and deep metaphor, but then we can think about this in terms of our own lives. And we use an analogy of two loving spouses with each other. Let's assume that the husband, and of course this is just an analogy, it can be the wife, but let's say the husband went on a trip, and returns and brings a gift, a wrapped gift for his wife. Again, this is not something inherently with a husband and a wife. It could be the other way around, either way. But this is the analogy. We'll use a husband and a wife. And the husband goes on a trip, and he returns, and he brings back a gift. And there are three scenarios how this can play out. The husband gives the wife the gift. This is scenario number one. It says that, I was away, and I was thinking about you, and I spent some time to think about what you want, and I really have a tremendous amount of love and affection for you, and I brought you this gift. And he hands her the gift. He hands his wife the gift. She takes the gift. She starts unwrapping the gift, and she finally opens up the gift. And let's say it's a beautiful bracelet. She looks at the bracelet, and she says, "Oh, thank you so much for giving me this gift. This is exactly the gift that I want. I love this bracelet. I was dreaming about such a bracelet for such a long time. I think it's going to look amazing on me, and this is the best gift that you can give me. This is exactly what I need." And she goes on and on talking about the beauty and the wonderment and the exquisite nature of this bracelet. That's scenario number one. Scenario number two is the husband comes and gives the same speech that he gives in scenario number one, that I was on a trip and I was thinking about you and I thought what you need and I went ahead and I bought you, and he hands her the gift. And she starts opening the present. She starts unwrapping the gift. And before she even gets to open up the gift itself, she starts profusely thanking her husband for the gift. This is so important so amazing that you got me a gift. It's so wonderful that you thought about me, even though you're far away and you were very busy, but you were thinking about me and you went ahead and you spent the time to buy me a gift. So before she even opens up the gift, before she even sees what the gift is, she's thanking and acknowledging the love that her husband has for her and acknowledging her appreciation of the giving of the gift. So before she even sees the gift, she is already thanking him. That's scenario number two. Now, both these scenarios are incomplete in terms of relationships, because in the first scenario, where the wife, and again, this could be in reverse order as well, where the wife is very excited about the gift that she receives, and she's very grateful and thankful for the actual gift she receives, she doesn't mention anything about her husband himself. She doesn't say, and thank you for thinking about me, and thank you for while you were so busy, you took the time to think about me and to do something for me. All she focuses on is on the gift in itself. Oh, it's a beautiful bracelet and I love the bracelet. Which means it's not about, or it's not as much about the relationship between the spouses, but it's more about the actual gift that I received, that this woman received or the man receives. But the wife is acknowledging the beauty of the gift in itself, not acknowledging the relationship behind the gift, that the gift was an expression of love. She's not saying, thank you for loving me, thank you for thinking about me, thank you for being my husband, and thank you for always being there for me. She's just saying, thank you for getting me this particular gift because I love this particular gift. So there is a certain, very much acknowledgement of the gift in itself, but not of the gifter of the gift. In scenario number two, where before she even opens up the gift, she's already thanking her husband. So there she's acknowledging the gifter of the gift, and she's being appreciative and she's being grateful for the fact that he's such an amazing husband and such a thoughtful husband, etc., etc. Which is that she's not looking at the gift before she even opens up the gift to see what the gift is. She's already grateful. Then she sees the gift, but that's not the point. She's only focusing on the relationship aspect, on the giver of the gift, not the gift itself. So in the first scenario, where it's not about the relationship, it's about the gift himself, the husband doesn't feel good because the husband spent time and effort and of his own time. It wasn't just that he picked up a phone, got someone else to pick out a gift for him and knows exactly what his wife would want, but he actually cares about his wife. So there's some level of relationship, and that's not acknowledged. In scenario number two, where the relationship is acknowledged, but the gift itself is not acknowledged. And he did spend time to figure out what is the right gift for his wife and what she would really appreciate and what she would really like. So he feels good about that. His wife feels the affection that he feels for her, she feels for him, and the love that he feels for her, she feels for him. But what is missing here is the acknowledgement of the gift in itself, which is something that he spent time to find that gift. Scenario number three is the correct response in a relationship. The correct response in a relationship is the woman receives the gift, opens up the gift, thanks her husband for the beautiful gift that she receives, and acknowledging the amazing attributes and qualities that the gift has and how much she loves the gift, and also simultaneously acknowledging the fact of the relationship that he thought about her and he thinks about her and that he loves her and he has an affection for her. So it's the gift and the giver of the gift simultaneously. That's the third scenario. This analogy, which is an analogy of receiving gifts in terms of relationships, interpersonal relationships, how we receive something from someone else, when someone gives us something, we acknowledge both the giver and what is being given. If you just acknowledge what is being given and don't acknowledge the giver, or you just acknowledge the giver but you don't acknowledge what's being given, then you're not acknowledging the entire narrative. But when you acknowledge both the giver and what is being given, you're giving respect and honor to everything that came together in that gift. This is interpersonally. This is essentially also a deep way of thinking about in our relationship to Hashem. There's Ani Nivresi. First let's think about this in terms of our relationship to Hashem and in the creation, in the story of in the way it relates to our reality around us. When we look around the world, in the physical world, the empirical world, the observable world, we could see a beautiful gift. Hashem gave us a beautiful gift. Basa Lagani, Hashem gave us a beautiful gift, the gift of His garden. It's a bira de lekes. It's a world of passion and desire and beauty and harmony and symmetry, and we can be astonished by the grandeur and the overwhelming nature of creation. And when we look at the world and we experience the world and we experience the gift of creation, which is a matnas chinut, which is a gift of the Creator that gave creation, we can acknowledge the gift and thank Hashem for the beautiful gift, and focus our attention on the gift in itself, and the pleasures, and the beauty, and the majesty, and the gift in itself. Which essentially, to say it another way, is the mamala kalam, the life, the divine life force that fills creation, acknowledging the beauty and the majesty in the gift in itself. That's one way to relate to creation, and be involved and participate in the wondrous, beautiful creation that Hashem created for us, and being grateful for the beautiful gift that Hashem gave us, which is called this world. The beauty in the world, of course, the natural beauty in this world, and be very grateful for that. That's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is to be more an ascetic, which is to think about this world and say, what I really want from creation is not creation itself. All I desire is to be connected to the Creator, this transcendent one. So I don't care about the gift. It's like this scenario number 2, where the woman opens up the gift, and before she even thanks her husband for giving him this particular gift, she's already grateful for the fact that he gave her a gift. And in this way, this is the same way how we look at this world. In the first way, the way we look at this world is we're very appreciative of the gift in itself, and sometimes lacking focus in the giver of the gift. In the second scenario, it's all about the giver of the gift, and it's not about the gift in itself. I don't care about the gift. And my relationship to this world is very aesthetic. It's very ascetic. I don't need to be indulged or involved or participate in this creation, and I don't even care what the gift of creation is, because that doesn't matter to me. What I really want is a relationship to Hashem, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to the transcendent one that is infinite and is beyond the gift in itself, beyond the mamala kalam, beyond the universe that is presented to us. I want to be connected to Hashem Himself. And then there's the deepest way of living, and this is perhaps the greatest revelation in the Torah Chassidus and the teachings of Chassidus, that the simultaneous appreciation, both for the gift and the giver of the gift simultaneously. That to recognize the wonder and the wonderment and the miraculousness of nature, that everything of nature is miraculous, that everything in this world, not the miracles is nature, but the opposite, that everything in nature, everything of this, the empirical, everything of the observable, everything of the gift is really connected to the giver of the gift. And the way we relate to this world is we participate in this world in constant dialogue through this world, in this world, and specifically through the gashmis of the world, through the physicality of the world, which is the gift that Hashem gave to us, relating to the creator of the gift and the giver of the gift. So it's not about completely indulging in the gift in a way that we somehow get lost and forget about the giver of the gift, or don't focus on the giver of the gift, or just get stuck in the world of the mundane and the natural. And our relationship is that the world is created by a creator, and I recognize that, and I recognize there is a creator. There is a creator. Ani Nivresi, there's an I, and there's a creator, and I recognize that as a creator, but it's all about I and my participation in the unnatural unfolding of life and the gifts of life, and that's where I reside in my state of consciousness, in my state of being, in my state of reality, in my state of interpretation, and interconnection is with the world the way it is. nor is it in more an ascetic way, which is that I don't have nothing to do with this world. I'd rather fast and refrain and avoid and transcend this world as much as I can let go of the gift and more connected to the giver of the gift. That's where I'll have the most appreciation. That's where I'll feel mostly connected to transcendence. And the highest level of living, which is the idea of Atmos really, is that it actually connects both to the finite and the infinite, and the nature and the miraculous, and they're all simultaneously one. That there's not the world of nature, which is scenario number one, or there's not the world of the miraculous, which is transcendent, which is scenario number two, but the nature itself is miraculous. And the fact that I can be indulging and involved in the creation is a way for Dvekas, is a way for me to connect to Hashem. And so to appreciate the gift and the giver of the gift within the gift, that is the highest way of living. And the same thing also when we think about Ben Adam La'atzma, being a person between themselves. There's 3 years how to think about this. One is, Ani Nivresi, I am created, and I recognize that I have talents and I have certain qualities and certain smarts and certain proclivities and certain way of being in this world that's unique and special about me. And I'm grateful for that. And it's all about I. Yes, I understand that there's something higher and there's a transcendence and there's a connection. I need a race with there's something that's beyond me and I have to serve Hashem. But it's essentially about me and how I can gain out of life, how I can be alive, and acknowledging my talents and my strengths and my innate abilities, and acknowledging those are the gifts that I receive, and being very grateful for the gifts and just thinking about the gifts and not thinking about the transcendence of the gifts. And then the other way of being in this world is that, who am I? I'm nothing. What does it matter what I am? So I am smart and I am talented and I am creative. Who cares? Ani Nivresi, I am not. The whole point is to transcend, and transcend means to give up. To give up means to be beyond what I am. So if I'm smart, who cares? And if I'm talented, who cares? And if I'm creative, who cares? The main thing is I should just let go of everything and be connected to something that's transcendent, something that's higher, to be connected to Kadosh Baruch Hu, to be connected to Hashem, to experience Dvekus. And we say the highest level is Va'ish Moshe Adam Mikol Adam, that you have to be an ish, you have to be a man, which means you have to own who you are as a human being. What's the qualities? What is the nature? What is the specialty that you have in this world? What makes you unique? What's your way of thinking and your way of feeling and your way of being in this world that's different and unique and special beyond anyone else? And every single person has these special qualities. Every single person sparkles with this own infinite majesty, with the revelation of the infinite one sparkling through all the finite little diamonds. So we have to find our own specific quality, become an ish, become a person, become realized in this world, to use our talents, to use our smarts, to use our creativities, to use our way of being in this world that's uniquely ours, to be fully ourselves, to be the fully Ani, and yet simultaneously be completely humble and acknowledge and know that these are just gifts that Hashem gave us. And acknowledge that these are gifts that the Creator constantly is giving us. That the fact that I wake up in the morning and we're the same intelligent, have the same talents, the same creativity, and the same capacities, physically and mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, to do all the things that we wish to do in this world, is a fact, a continuous gift that's being given to us from the Creator, from the giver of the gift. So to be both in the place of the gift, in the Ani, and be super appreciative and grateful for the gifts that Hashem gives us in our own personal lives of who we are in this world, with the simultaneous acknowledgement that it's a giver of the gift. It's like unwrapping the gift and saying, thank you so much to my spouse. Thank you to my husband. Thank you to Hashem for giving me all this beautiful bracelet, for giving me all the beautiful things that I have in my life, for giving me my health, for giving me my smarts, for giving me my family, for giving me my health, for giving me everything that I need in this world to become who I need to be in this world. Thank you. And that acknowledgement is also in a dialogue, in a relationship with the Creator. It's not just I'm appreciative of the gift in itself, but I'm acknowledging that the gift was gifted to me by my husband, by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, by Hashem that's reaching out to me and extending an arm, so to speak, in a way that's giving me these gifts of life. So I'm both in this world and out of this world simultaneously. I am within and without. I am both Ani and an Ayin. I'm both fully in existence and fully inexpressive, and both Ayin. And these are the 3 ways that we can relate to this world. The first one is, again, both between man and man, between husband and wife, between interpersonal relationships. How do we relate to the things that are given to us and that we receive? Are we looking at them just the fact, like a very utilitarian, that's like the object, the gift in itself? Or is it all about the relationship? And that's what I'm seeking? Or it's about a relationship in the way it's expressed through the things that are being expressed in the relationship. So it's not just about the giver of the gift, but it's the gift and the giver of the gift simultaneously. Or these are three things also, how the way we relate to the world at large. How do we look at the world? How do we look at the gifts that Hashem created in this world at large, on the macro level, beyond this our personal life, but this the beauty and the majesty in His Bir Delekas and the Basi Lagani, in His beautiful garden that Hashem created for us. Do we indulge in a way that we forget the giver of the gift, even though we acknowledge it on some level? Or do we just let go of everything and try to transcend and avoid and fast and separate ourselves from the gifts that Hashem gave us in this world to be connected to the giver of the gift, and that's the objective? Or do we learn how to navigate the space where we both can contain these two opposites, these apparently two opposites? We're in this paradox almost where we can be fully engaged with the gift and fully engaged with the giver of the gift in constant dialogue. And then the same thing also in terms of our own personal relationship with our own selves. How do we relate to our own talents and creativity and our own passions and desires and the things that make us unique? Do we fully express them to an extent that it's all about I, and we forget about this as a giver of the gift and forget about other people? It's just about me. Or it's not about me at all, and it's just about the giver of the gift, and therefore I don't exist. I'm just I, and I'm nothingness, I'm emptiness, and it's let it pour through me. Or do I really hold this paradox where I can acknowledge that it's fully about me and fully not about me simultaneously? It's fully about the gift and the giver of the gift concurrently. That's the ultimate idea and the ultimate way of living. Have a wonderful day.